2 weeks ago I put out a post asking people what their favourite music is to trip to. So I thought for a bit of fun we could compile all of the artists and tracks that people listed and see which ones come out on top, and also which ones I also personally enjoy. There were so many great suggestions that I thought it was inevitable that I make a video on this, especially considering I did the best movies to watch whilst tripping. This goes hand in hand with that video. So yeah, I think you'll really enjoy this one, and yeah, keep an eye out for your comment. I really appreciated everybody feeding back for that. I loved finding out what all of you guys are into. So the first artist off the list is Stick Figure, who was recommended by Lily Beth. This is an American reggae and dub band that was originally formed in 2006 in Southern California. I'd heard of them before because I've been to so many festivals that emphasise drum and bass and reggae and sort of Jamaican music. So I've actually heard their music being played, and it wasn't until after I think Boomtown 2019 that I actually went and started listening to them more. Really enjoyed the mashup of reggae and dub and other influences as well. Definitely very underrated, and yeah, perfect for tripping, I'd say. So the next suggestion, fuck me, I went into Sean Connery mode there. The next suggestion comes from Rail0505. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, mate. This is going to happen far too many times in this episode. So he recommended Spongle and Fila Brasilia. I'd heard of Spongle before. I think most psychonauts have probably heard of Spongle. Absolutely quintessential music to trip or contemplate to, I'd say. I saw them briefly at Boomtown in one of the psychedelic forest areas. Absolutely enchanting. It's unbelievable the noises that this electronic music project actually produces. Very talented individuals, and they've been going about since 1996 and just don't seem to be holding up at all. They're just still one of the most influential acts within psychedelic music. Absolutely great, and if you've not listened to them before, then you need to do yourself a favour and do so, and definitely do so whilst on LSD, shrooms, DMT. It really amplifies the trip and gives it this spacey, sort of tribal, modern tribal feeling, if you know what I mean. But then Fila Brasilia I've actually never heard of, so I'm absolutely going to be checking these out if they're in line with Spongle. This is an English electronica duo from Kingston upon Hull, Yorkshire, England, formed in 1990 by Steve Cobby and David McSherry. That sounds really cool. I'm absolutely going to be listening to that on Spotify tonight, so thank you very much for the recommendation. Next up is Capital Steez, who was recommended by Roy Donk. Great name, by the way, put a donk on it. So I've never actually heard of this artist before. Apparently he was the founder of the Brooklyn-based rap collective Pro Era, along with childhood friend Joey Badass. Unfortunately, I'm not really into modern rap music that much, but I'll definitely be up for checking them out. I mean, I'm open to all types of music, and I love listening to new artists, whether I end up enjoying them or not. I just think it's cool to absorb more of reality in that way. It's like the same with films. I try not to re-watch films. I try to keep listening to new stuff, watching new stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll definitely check them out. Thank you for the recommendation, Mr. Donk. Next up is Sophie Friedman with the absolute banger, which is Aphex Twin X-Tal. I actually only really got into Aphex Twin this year, and he's already one of my most played artists of the entire year. Absolutely unbelievable atmospheric electronic music. The Ambient Works album from 85 to 92, probably just one of the best electronic albums ever. I can't believe it's taken me so long to get into him. I think I had that opinion of, oh, it's just noise music or whatever back in the day, and now it's just finally clicked, and it is one of the best pieces of music to trip to. This track in particular, I'd say. I was actually out in my hometown recently at this music festival, and I found my old history teacher, and he actually had a tattoo of the Aphex Twin iconic logo, and I was talking with him about it, and he was like, oh yeah, this is just some of the best music to trip to, because he's also a trippy head as well, so that's pretty funny. And yeah, it just cements the fact that Aphex Twin is a timeless artist that speaks to listeners new and old, and will always be a massive influence on electronic music. I mean, I swear Skrillex said his favourite song ever was Flim by Aphex Twin, which is just mental to think. So yeah, thanks for that one. If you've never listened to Aphex Twin, then you need to sort it out and get right on it. Josh Robinson recommended Radiohead, Kid A or In Rainbows. I couldn't agree with this more. Radiohead, just one of my favourite bands ever. They were my first introduction to alternative rock music, which is by far my favourite genre of music. Can't even describe how many artists I love within the domain of alternative rock. And yeah, it was Radiohead which really catapulted my love for the whole medium. When I was younger, I was not really I didn't really follow music when I was younger. I was just, I don't know, a strange child me. I used to just listen to like film soundtracks and game soundtracks, and then it wasn't until I watched the anime Ergo Proxy and heard the ending credits, which was Paranoid Android by Radiohead, and that's when I first started getting into music properly. So it was through Radiohead that I actually got into music, so they'll always hold a special place in my heart. And I couldn't agree more for tripping. Like Kid A and In Rainbows are two of like the most experimental, trippy albums I've ever heard. They're absolutely incredible. It took me a while to get into Kid A because it's just so out there. And initially I was like, oh, why is it not just like OK Computer 2.0? But then you realise the beauty of Radiohead is how out there and experimental they really are, which is pretty unique within rock music, which can sometimes be a bit samey, but they've completely threw that idea out the window and revolutionised shit. So yeah, what a brilliant suggestion. Next we have Kanye West, who was suggested by Leone. Now, I really like Kanye West's early stuff up until the album with Heartless on it. Just personally speaking, I can't really get behind auto-tune. It's just not really for me. I respect people who do. Like, it's just a different form of musical expression, really. I just don't enjoy listening to it. But the first, all the albums up to that one I thought were great. There's so many amazing tracks on the first one. Jesus Walks and All Falls Down. Oh, actually, I do really enjoy that Power song from My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That is a great modern hip-hop song. The samples in that of King Crimson are so expertly used. It's just such a hype beat. I absolutely love that. But yeah, I can fully see why you recommended Kanye West. So many great tunes to listen to. And you know what? There was ones off that, the new one, that was alright. Not the newest one, but the other one from 2018, that Yay. That had some sort of trippy sounding tunes to it. So yeah, I can fully see why you'd listen to Kanye West whilst tripping. I bet that'd be great. Meek suggested Aphex Twin, Erykah Badu, Sun Ra, DJ Shadow, Broadcast, Lush, Hiroshi Yoshimura, D'Angelo, Madlib and Bill Evans. So the ones I've heard of from this list are obviously Aphex Twin, DJ Shadow, Broadcast, Lush and Madlib. All of those I've just mentioned are absolutely fantastic. Lush and Broadcast especially, fucking brilliant. Both quality bands, and if you've watched my shoegaze video, you'll know that I buzz off Lush. I need to listen to more Broadcast, but what I've listened to of them is impeccable. All the other artists I need to check out. Hiroshi Yoshimura, I mean, I love Japanese music, so I'll definitely be checking that out at some point. Madlib is brilliant as well. Probably one of the best hip-hop producers ever. I obviously discovered him through MF Doom, through Mad Villain, and yeah, the production on MF Doom's music is just unparalleled. Mad Villain is just one of my very favourite hip-hop albums. It really just showed me that hip-hop isn't restricted by just one like generic gangster rap sound, but it can be so much different and so much more expressive and experimental. Just absolutely great. I do need to listen to more DJ Shadow, but I am familiar with his works, and I was just making my way through his debut album, Introducing, Yeah, it's great. More great instrumental hip hop, perfect for tripping, I'd say. Yeah, great recommendation, and I'll check out the other ones that I don't know because I'm sure they're awesome as well. XXBY recommends Tame Impala, more specifically the Inner Speaker album or Lonerism. Fully agreed on this one. Those two albums are peak modern psychedelic rock. Really enjoy their music. I wasn't really massive on the last album other than the song Borderline, which I thought was brilliant. I didn't really like the new direction they've gone in, but he's still a really talented guy. Is it Kevin Parker? I hope I got that right. But yeah, those two, Inner Speaker is fucking well trippy. I mean, that was just designed to be listened to on LSD or mushies. Lonerism has got a few more influences going on in it, and it's just a really enjoyable listen as well. Noid comes with the recommendation of the Temples of Boom album by Cypress Hill. Yeah, brilliant recommendation, I'd say. One of the best hip hop groups of all time. They've got loads of weed influences in the music, which goes hand in hand with tripping. The production is really spacey and out there. Stoner influences going on. They're absolutely great, and I'd love to go and see them one day. My friend saw them at Boomtown the one year I didn't go in 2017. Looked fucking sick. Great performance, got everyone going, and it says a lot that they're still about to this day, and I've still got it really. It's pretty sick. Dilikson comes at us with these recommendations: Eyes of the World by Grateful Dead, I Know You Rider by Grateful Dead, Black Throated Wind by GD, Wordless Chorus by My Morning Jacket, and The Warmth by Incubus. I love the Grateful Dead. My favourite song by them, and one of my favourite tripping songs ever, is Dark Star. Fucking unbelievably ethereal sounding song. And Wordless Chorus by My Morning Jacket, gotta be one of the very best songs for me to trip or contemplate to. Extremely transcendental feeling going on listening to that. It takes me places. It's a really beautiful song, and I also like a lot of their other work as well. Funnily enough, that I've discovered them when I was younger on American Dad episode. They appeared in. If any of you remember that, then you're a real OG. And Incubus, I absolutely love that Drive song. That's just an absolute classic. That's such an emotional song. I need to listen to them more. I've not actually heard of The Warmth. The one band I really need to get into, because I'm absolutely buzzed off like 2000s rock, as cringe as people like to call it nowadays. But I really enjoy it and always have done. So yeah, I'll absolutely be diving into that more. And I'll also check out that Black Throated Wind by oh, you meant Grateful Dead as well. I can't believe I've just realised that. Brain cell me. Inevitable and L suggests Spongle, Nujabes, Young Bay, Vanilla, Flamingosis, Deep Forest, and Huki. Nujabes and Flamingosis, yep, stellar examples of great trippy music, I'd say. I discovered Flamingosis on YouTube through one of them weird, like lo-fi mixes, and it's of Hey Arnold tapping his knee on this step, if anybody knows about that. And then obviously I found him on Spotify and started exploring all the music, and absolutely love electronic music like that. It's so relaxing to listen to. Alongside Nujabes as well, absolutely amazing producer that is tragically not with us any longer. I first discovered his music through the anime series Samurai Champloo from Shinichiro Watanabe, who made Cowboy Bebop. I'm not massively into anime anymore, but Champloo I still think is one of the best series going in the medium, because it's got a bit more style, a bit more nuance going into it than other anime series. And his music in that just elevated the whole show into fucking godlike realms. And when you go and actually listen to his other music, you realise just how much of a talented producer he really was. And I've used some of his tracks actually in my trip reports for those with keen ears. The other artists you mentioned I've not heard of, so I'll definitely be checking those out as well. Isotas Otomakan recommends Sudaya music. So I'd never heard of this artist before, so I looked them up, and they fall under the genre of progressive Sidetrans for the most part. I love Sidetrans personally. It's fucking sick to listen to at festivals when you're under the influence of psychedelics. it really transports you to other realms in your head. It's fucking sick, and I love all the light shows they put on. I could listen to it all day, really. I find it well relaxing, even though it's quite energetic. Really enjoy stuff like that. So I'll definitely be checking out this person's discography very soon. Goman recommends Panda Bear, or Animal Collective. Panda Bear is one of the co-founders of Animal Collective. Aphex Twin, Ambient, Deer Hunter, or Atlas Sound, Julia Holter, My Bloody Valentine, and Spiritualized, of course. Yeah, there's some fucking great suggestions right there. Animal Collective. I've only listened to a few of them. I really like that My Girl song. Defo need to check out them more. I can imagine them being great for listening to whilst tripping. Deer Hunter, I've just started getting into as well. Need to check out them a bit more. My Bloody Valentine, it's impeccable. Shoegaze, Revolutionaries. Loveless is just one of the best albums of all time, in my opinion. The first time I ever heard Only Shallow, when I was younger in like 2013, it just blew me away and catalysed my love for alternative rock music. And Spiritualized have got some awesome tracks as well. Need to check them out more. I think my favourite is probably Shine a Light by them. That's a serious track. So yeah, you've suggested some amazing ones there. I'll definitely check out Julia Holter more, see what she's all about. And obviously need to check out more of Animal Collective as well. So yeah, thanks for the suggestion. Lenny Johnson recommends Chiasmus and Alfa Romero. Don't think I've ever heard of these two before, and probably butchered the pronunciation, but looking up Chiasmus, it says they are a Faroese Icelandic minimal experimental techno duo. Sounds pretty funky, to be fair. I'm all about the experimental genres, so that sounds pretty stellar, to be honest. I'm pretty interested in listening to them. I couldn't really find much about the other artists though, so I'll have to do a bit more scouring to find out about them. But yeah, I'm sure they're great as well, to be honest. Obey the ET suggests King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, as well as Glassbreaker by the Crystal Method. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with the Crystal Method. Fucking one of the best big beat artists from the 90s. I love so... Sorry about that. I love so many of their tunes. Name of the Game is probably my favourite of theirs. I just love it when electronic artists incorporate heavy riffs into their music. Such a sick sounding group. And King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard have got some really good tunes as well. Only just recently started getting into them, so I need to scour their music a bit more before I make a final judgment. But they're shaping up to be pretty good, and it's a shame I've never discovered them in the past, because they really are quite up my alley. Moving on to conorprezeno's recommendations. Niels Fram's album All Melody and all of Ganja White Knight's discography. He describes it as classical and heavy electronic shit hit all the acid spots for this guy. So that immediately piqued my interest when he said that. The combination of classical and electronic music, that just sounds really amazing, and something that is really in line with the music that I sort of look for when I want to have a tripping or contemplation sesh. So they're absolutely at the top of my pecking order for checking out which artists you guys recommended. Really sounds sick, that. And that Ganja White Knight, need to look into him a bit more, see what they're about. I couldn't really find much on a quick Google search, but I'm sure I will discover more in the near future. Charles the Awakened suggested Meditative Mind on YouTube, one of these channels that uploads solfeggio frequencies. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Bit like binaural beats. They're great for listening to for meditation. I just put my headphones on and listen to them and just sit down and just soak it all in. It's really relaxing and feels like it does your brain a lot of good. It fucking clears out all the absolute shite in it. He also suggested a track that he actually made called The Seventh Journey. Just look it up artist. Just look up artist Audio Affirmations, or the name of the track on SoundCloud. I'll definitely be checking that out after I've done this recording, and I also suggest you guys do as well, because if it's anything like Meditative Mind, it's going to be serious. Calais Banan recommends ASAP Rocky, LSD, The Shordettes, Mr. Sandman, Zelda Ocarina of Time OST, Great Fairy Fountain. Yes. Tide and Flyver, Boom Clap Bachelors, Elliott Smith, No Name number 3. Just been getting into him recently as well. Can't believe I've only just fucking heard of him. So up my alley, it's unreal. Hov 1, Na Jag Sedig Sex, Nombi, California Girls, Luciano Pavarotti, Nessun Dorma. Oh, what a beautiful song. Airwaves, Passionim, Bon Iver, Emi. Heard of Bon Iver? Need to check him out as well. If it is a him or a group, I don't know. He also goes on to say, I make a particular effort to listen to classical music. It makes the trip more emotionally challenging and profound. If anybody would like to try it out, I recommend starting with the Viennese schoolmasters, such as Mozart and Haydn. I also recommend listening to the Kepler Quartet's rendition of Ben Johnston's String Quartet No. 7. I tried it and it knocked me on my ass properly for a minute. I can fully vouch for that. Listening to classical music is a transcendental experience on psychedelics. It's actually unfathomable how deeply complex classical music really is, especially when you compare it to some of the terrible minimalist pop music you hear today that just is made within a few hours. It's literally night and day. Yeah, those were some great recommendations. I like that LSD song by ASAP Rocky. Probably need to check out his stuff more. I think I like that other tune with Rod Stewart in as well. Every Day, I think it's called. That was pretty good. See, I like modern hip-hop like that. Yeah, I love the Zelda Ocarina of Time OST. I've used Great Fairy Fountain in loads of the trip reports. Fucking awesome. Awesome composers at Nintendo. They've got an amazingly talented lineup of people in that company who work on their games, and they're still going strong after all these years, still somehow making these enchanting melodies. Mama and Isaac Siojo both decided to pick Pink Floyd for their suggestions. I couldn't agree with these more. Premium selection of tunes from both of these guys. Mama suggested Welcome to the Machine, one of the best ones by far, and Isaac also recommended Breathe, fucking classic. I mean, when I first listened to Dark Side of the Moon and Breathe kicked in, I was like, holy shit, this is going to take me on a ride. I've been waiting to listen to this sort of music my entire life. Followed by Money, because the start of that track and the transition to the song is just awesome. Fully agreed there. One of the greatest transitions ever. The whole the whole album is just one of the best concept albums ever, and still probably my personal favorite concept album. It just flows together so cohesively, more so than any other album I've ever listened to. It's a shame I never got into them earlier. I only got into them around like 2015 or so. They became one of my very favourite classic rock artists extremely quickly, and it married my love of music and psychedelics so efficiently. It was unreal. Me and my mate ended up taking LSD and watching echoes playing over the ending sequence of 2001: A Space Odyssey, and seeing how they line up is just unbelievably mind-blowing, to be fair. Such a sick experience. Sam EDM picked a lot of suggestions, and they're all really great, I think. Here's what he recommended: Jimi Hendrix, Somewhere, Pally Gap, Jungle, Little Wing, Villanova Junction Blues. I love Jimi Hendrix. What can I say about him that hasn't been said before? One of the greatest guitarists of all time. And I love the fact that Jimi Hendrix was African American and wiped the floor with all the white rock talent at the time. He really shook the whole genre up and is remembered fondly to this day for a reason. The Beatles, just fucking one of the greatest bands ever by far. Even though their early music's quite cheesy and I don't listen to it, Strawberry Fields Forever is just one of my favourite songs of all time, and he actually listed, the ones he listed were Sun King, Magical Mystery Tour, Tomorrow Never Knows, Fixing a Hole, Mr. Kite, Blue Jay Way, Strawberry Fields, I Am the Walrus, I'm Only Sleeping, Within You and Without You. Great picks. And for John Lennon he put 9 Number Dream, Mind Games, George Harrison, Crackerbox Palace, My Sweet Lord. Oh, My Sweet Lord is just a really beautiful song, very moving. Tame Impala, It Feels Like We Only Go Backwards. The Less I Know, the Better. Let It Happen, Elephant. It Feels Like We Only Go Backwards. That's a seriously moving tune. I actually associate that with one of my breakups in the past, so there's a lot of like resonance with that song. Rex Orange County, Loving Is Easy, Best Friend, Sunflower. Yeah, I don't mind his music actually. That Sunflower song's pretty good, and that Loving Is Easy is alright as well. Mac DeMarco, I've actually I used to listen to that Salad Days song. That was the only one I used to listen to by him, and that Ode to Viceroy song. My favourite by him is actually, oh my god, what is it called? Still Beating. That's an amazing tune. I've just recently got back into him. I love like his down-tempo sort of indie folk vibes that go on. I really love that. Beach Boys, Good Vibrations, God Only Knows, I Get Around, Wouldn't It Be Nice? Yeah, just fucking classic. Sort of like the American Beatles in a sense. Unknown Mortal Orchestra, brilliant band. Honeybee, that's a great one. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Santana, Soul Sacrifice. Great suggestion that. They've got some really awesome Latino influenced music that I think is, again, quintessential tripping music really. David Bowie, ultra classic. Starman and Space Oddity, absolutely amazing. My favourite is probably Sound and Vision and The Man Who Sold the World. Others, September, Waterloo Sunset, Rise on the Storm, Never Gonna Break My Stride, they're all bangers as well. Just great music to listen to if you're tripping or not, just ultra classics, and there's some really good suggestions I'd say. OST recommends Want You in My Soul by Lovebirds, his favourite song as well. This must be a good one if it's your favourite song. I love finding out what people's very favourite things are, because then you get an idea of who they really are as a person. Obviously it speaks to them on a really deep level, so in some way it reflects who they are as a person, I believe. I'll absolutely be checking that out, and I'll reply to your comment once I've listened to it and let you know what I think, mate. Trap Square comes at us with Devilish Trio and Bones. I couldn't really find much about Bones, but Devilish Trio I've heard of. I think they're sort of similar to Suicide Boys, I believe. If they're not, then please don't shoot me. I think I've heard some of their songs before. It's sort of like darkish trap rap music. Not so much, I'd say, trap metal from what I've heard, although there might be some. Can't say I'm massive on it, to be fair, but I've heard some of those Devilish Trio songs that I actually do really like. I just need to track them down and get them added to my playlist. So yeah, I'll probably check them out a bit more, because yeah, I'm always up for listening to new genres and finding hidden bangers in music I assumed I didn't like. So yeah, I'll definitely check that out more. Morty has some great suggestions here for mushrooms and LSD. For mushrooms, he says Plantasia by Mort Garson, Long Season by Fishmans. Just recently got into them last week. I already had a few of the like really popular songs like Baby Blue and the Net Cruising song on my Spotify, but I hadn't listened to that Long Season yet, because obviously it's that one song is really long, so I have to sit down and actually listen to it. Fucking sick, yeah, absolutely amazing. The Japanese have this thing where they love combining all these different elements into one cohesive whole with their music. They take loads of influences and you can't narrow them down to just one genre. Really appreciate that about them. For LSD, you said Velocity Designed Comfort by Sweet Trip. What a fantastic pick, I'd say. Such a fucking great album. Loveless by My Bloody Valentine. Have I not already spunked over that enough? I think you know the score already. Nor comes at us with trap mixes. Bones. Oh, Trap Square mentioned Bones as well. I need to check them out then. Deftones. Well, I don't even want to speak about these. They're literally like my favourite band of all time. I can't even sing their praises high enough. I think it's accurate when people describe them as the metal Radiohead, and the same reason I love Radiohead, same reason I love Deftones. They experiment with the sound so much. They're so unique. They pull from an amazing array of influences. I love shoegaze. I love dream pop. They combine them together with metal, my other favourite genre of music, and it just makes this ethereal sounding noise that is just unlike anything else you've ever heard. I can't even begin to describe how many songs I enjoy from their discography. Yeah, there's some fucking sick suggestions. Dream pop is one of the best genres for tripping to, I believe. So many incredible songs that fall under dream pop. Trap, I can't say I'm actually really into at all, unfortunately. I guess I appreciate stuff like Travis Scott and that. Like, they've got some good production, and some of his songs are a bit like psychedelic infused. But personally, I don't really enjoy the bass lines or drum loops in trap, and I'm also not a massive fan of the lyrical content. But if you like it, then that's fair enough, because music is very subjective, and it actually makes me happy that people enjoy so much different music that I personally don't get, because it just shows how much there is out there to actually enjoy and experience, which I think's sick. Ruben B comes at us with a lot of artists I've literally never heard of before, I don't think, which is intriguing because I'm all about the obscure music. Dowd, Christian Loeffler, Gidge Anatu, Petite Biscuit, Oleg Bionic, John Hopkins, that one rings a bell, Lane 8, Sultan plus Shepherd, Roan, Nujabes. Yeah, I've never heard of any of them before, so I'm gonna have to keep my eye open, or ears open even, and investigate their wares very soon. Andy Hobo recommended Weavy Stunder, and I just thought this was hilarious because me and my mates say Weavy Stunder all the time for some reason, which is obviously Stevie Wonder, if you hadn't figured that out yet. Yeah, Stevie Wonder's great. So many buzzing, funky tunes. I reckon they'd be great for increasing your mood on psychedelics just before the trip. Get rid of a bit of that pre-trip anxiety. And finally, the last suggestion is from Blossom, who recommends Kendrick Lamar and Kanye West. So I talked about Kanye before, liked his earlier stuff. Kendrick Lamar, though, probably my favourite modern hip-hop artist of all time, you know. I absolutely buzz off the production on his songs. Wasn't massive on the last one. What was it called? Was it called Humble? Or was it called DNA? Oh, I can't remember. The last one that he released. No, Damn, that was it. Damn. I liked some of them on there that were really good. A few of the ones that featured other artists, I was like, meh. But everything, all the albums before that one, I think are fucking sick. He's a real visionary when it comes to hip-hop. And he sort of combines the older style of the 90s hip-hop with the sort of trippy sounding production and funky beats with socially conscious lyrics. I really love that about him. My favourite song by him is easily Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst. That was just an experience to listen to. I've again used that in a lot of my trip reports as well. The instrumental in that is fucking class. I know it's sampled, but the usage of sampling in his music is really clever. And I look forward to his next work. I hope it's a bit more like his earlier stuff, because I didn't really enjoy that Black Panther album either. But I'll go into the next one with an open mind, and hopefully I enjoy it. That about wraps this one up. I didn't think it'd take this long, but a lot of you commented on this. It seemed to really resonate with you, this idea. As Psychonauts, I can see why all of you love this type of music. You really picked some of the best possible musicians that encompass what the psychedelic headspace is all about. Ethereal, relaxing, a bit energetic. It really goes hand in hand, yeah, with the psychedelic experience. So yeah, I commend you for all having great taste, and for also sharing with me some artists that I'm really intrigued to check out. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then leave a comment if you'd like to see more of these sort of videos where I ask you guys what sort of things you enjoy to do whilst tripping or contemplating, and I'll compile another video like this in the future. And don't forget to like and subscribe.